is used in place of crack.
The FBI about to tap your phone.
In rehab. They'll be all right.
They gonna be all right. 1, 2, and 3. Let her rock.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop?
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
1.
Let's find out. 1.
2.
2.
3.
3. 3.
Oh my God! Greetings and salutations to you all. This is the Umpteenth View. Tis I, Just Henry, the original, the one, the only, the always ready to keep the party going. And this is the good cousin.
Wizard rising the first good people. I fight that out. I just need y'all.
Yo, that owl would just like we would be fading for real. Like he would have to show one.
You gonna fly today, boy? And I ain't
for
talking
real.
about
like you
wings.
gonna leave that perch for real.
Yeah.
You gonna fight. Because by the time I climb up there, you better be there. Like we gonna fade.
That commercial give me airtime, but
like for real though, like he just and then handed it back to him too.
yeah, you gave him the stick, boy. You don't know.
It could have been a white owl. Why couldn't it be a white owl? It had to be a brown owl. Am I wrong for doing that? I'm sorry. I apologize.
They had to
I'm
include
just teasing.
evil in all shapes and forms.
I know, right? Did that boy wrong though. Anyway, just left him nothing but the stick. And
Serious face.
do owls have saliva? Like that's something I'd be worried about too.
I would never ask that question.
Cause then he gave it back to him. Like, what you gonna do with this slobbed up, crunched up lollipop? Anyway,
turn that thing. To
I'm sorry.
It's good.
We are so glad you guys joined us today. We got some something interesting to discuss today. Okay, we try to keep it versatile. You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
That's good.
So today we're gonna bring a little bit of that.
I like that.
All right. So Uncle Sam's brother, President Biden. Sorry, that was bad. They're not brethren. But Uncle Biden, I was about to say that. President Biden apparently has approved some assistance for the, I was gonna say less fortunate.
Faint of heart.
Well done. Well done. So the program is called that has a lot of controversy going on right now. I won't even bring up the Fox News caster that was going off about it. It was
Which one was
hilarious.
Tucker?
I think so.
It's probably Tucker. Tucker go ham.
He goes in. It was funny. But anyway.
They be tweaking, boy.
And so the controversy is the headline is Biden is giving out $30 million worth of crack pipes for those that use. And so one side is all up in arms like, yeah, we're doing this because there's a disparity that we need to take care of. The other side is this is a bunch of crap. You're not supposed to give away free paraphernalia. The other side's like, well, they need clean utensils, stuff to make sure that they don't spread and fester disease. So that's the actual intention
Okay.
is what I ended with there, right?
Okay.
Of course, we hear at TheUmteenthView, always try to just be better. We just want to learn not only what's going on, but matter of fact, how to look up information so you can see it and know for yourself. So I said, you know what? Why is there such hoopla over it, right? Because I want to know what it says. So I went ahead and looked it up. The Harm Reduction Grant Program, and the reason it kind of hit the interwebs recently is because February 7th, Monday, was the due date for anyone that's applying for the grant to actually get the grant in. But the issue is, what is it about? What is going on, Cletus? What's the hoopla? So we said, you know what? Let's go ahead and figure it out, right? So the description, basically, the purpose of the program is to support community-based overdose prevention programs, syringe services programs, and other harm reduction services. Funding will be used to enhance overdose and other types of prevention activities to help control the spread of infectious diseases and the consequences of such diseases for overdose reversal medication, for individuals with or at risk of developing substance use disorders, SUD. Support distribution of FDA approved overdose reversal medication to individuals at risk of overdose. Build connections for individuals at risk with a SUD, which is the substance use disorder, to overdose education, counseling, and health education. Refer individuals to treatment for infectious diseases such as HIV, sexually transmitted diseases, and viral hepatitis, and encourage such individuals to take steps to reduce the negative personal and public health impacts of substance use or misuse. That was the longest sentence I've ever said in my entire life. Just letting you guys know. Oh, I had to take a breath. Now, here we go. This will include supporting capacity development to strengthen harm reduction programs as part of the continuum of care. Recipients will also establish process, protocols, and mechanisms to referral to appropriate treatment and recovery support services. Grantees will also provide overdose prevention education to their target populations regarding the consumption of substance including but not limited to opioids and other synthetic analogs.
You read aloud, very well.
Why, thank you, sir. Funds may also be used to help address the stigma often associated with substance use and participation in harm reduction activities. Listen to this last line. I like this one. Funds may also be used to help address the stigma often associated with substance use and participation in harm reduction activities. There's also been political stances saying, why is this being done? Are they trying to get the black vote? Are they trying to get a certain poor white vote? Or which vote are they trying to get when they put this out there, right? And I'm just like, does it have to be a ploy like that? Or can it just actually be just something that's really trying to be helpful? Then is it something that you're really just not thinking all the way through? So then I read it further. I looked through it all, and I was just like, this is pretty decently put together, except some of the terminology. Here's where I kind of went off, right? So they had some question and answers, or frequently asked questions. You can kind of get the little PDF file or whatever. Mm-hmm. What I did was I just want the grant. So I pulled the grant. Excuse me, sorry about the gas, guys. Anyway, so everything in the frequently asked questions I was asking, it was like leading, they had a couple that were alluding to go to the actual form so that you'd be able to see in page 8 what supplies and what things they're talking about. So that's when I did it. I said, let's go to page 8. Let's figure it out. Let's see what we got. So in the section that says required activities, the grant funds must be used primarily to support the following required harm reduction activities. So there's a lot of stuff like assess organizational readiness, develop a sustainability plan, develop policies and procedures to implement evidence-based trauma-informed practices throughout each level of the organizational structure. Come on. Anyway, so you really gotta know some words to put these things together. Distribute FDA approved overdose reversal medication and deliver overdose prevention education to target populations. So like they're like giving you a track as they implement the overdose joint, like you're just waking back up like, oh, let me read this. Anyway, sorry. Establish processes, protocols, mechanisms for referral to treatment and recovery support services, referral to treatment for infectious diseases such as HIV, STIs, and viral hepatitis, blah, blah, blah. Assemble a harm reduction advisory, designate staff, people that aren't going to take advantage of people, because they do that. That's horrible.
That is
deplorable. Anyway,
horrible and deplorable. I like it.
Deplorable to me is more fantastic.
It's one of your favorite words. I pick up on that stuff. Deplorable, dishonorable, honorable.
Anyway, puts me on a different level, right? Roll up on yo. All right, so now comes the section, controversial section. Purchase equipment and supplies to enhance harm reduction efforts, such as harm reduction vending machines, including stock for machines. Could it be snacks? Could it be gum? Just saying. These vending machines, we don't know what's in them. Infectious diseases testing kits, HIV, HBV, HCV, etc. What movie is that from? Etc.
Harry Potter. That's
No,
the first thing that
the
comes to
King
mind.
and I.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, never mind. It's a musical. Way back in the day. I'm old.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Anyway,
That sound like you hit the Harry
King
Potter.
and I
That's the
is
first
big.
thing I thought about. Probably, I don't know what that is.
No worries. We're back. We're back. All right. So next we've got FDA approved. Wait. No. Infectious disease testing kits, medication lock boxes. Okay. So just in case what you have, somebody else can't get what you have. You get what I'm saying? Probably got a little code on there, but you might forget your code though if you're actually on crack.
They ain't the most rational.
I don't know. I've never been on crack.
The fix.
So I might be assuming a lot. Nonetheless, let's keep going. FDA approved overdose reversal medication as well as higher dosages now approved by FDA. We'll go over those. Safe sex kits, including PrEP resources and condoms. Well, when you get up there, you're feeling freaky deaky. I don't know. I've never been that high. Now here comes the one that really hit the fan, right? Safe smoking kits and supplies. Now, safe smoking kits and supplies. In order to smoke, you need something to smoke with, out of, to help assist with the smoking, to add heat, to put something into heat and whatever, right? I'm just thinking.
Is that the catalyst one?
Just thinking. I'm just thinking.
I got you.
Right? But they're saying that they're not providing crack pipes though.
They creating crack lockets. They invent some new stuff. They invent some new device that replaces
just it's a crack vape. They vape. I don't know. They vaping they crack now. That's crazy. But that's the controversial one there. Let's keep going. Screening for infectious diseases. Of course, we want to make sure that we get people tested. make them feel comfortable, so on. HIV, sexually transmitted disease, and so on. Sharps disposal and medication disposal kits. So basically, you know, when the needles are used and so on, we got to get rid of them. We don't want to keep them out there so somebody else can get stuck. Anyway, substance test kits, including test strips for fentanyl and other synthetic drugs. Fentanyl. Anyway, syringes to prevent and control the spread of infectious diseases. So they're providing syringes as well too. So why not put the pipes in there too? You know what I'm saying? We got a whole smorgasbord. Guess everybody got the sterilized bag. Vaccination services for hepatitis A, hepatitis B vaccination, and wound care management supplies. So an actual first aid kit, because some may have sores that they're not taking care of and they just need to get some help. So these are the things that are a part of it. The part of the grants like harm reduction programs, use federal funding, blah, blah, blah. So this is the reason why I wanted to get into it. I wanted to get into the nitty gritty. What movie is that from?
I don't know.
Nacho Libre.
I probably only seen that once in my life.
Killing Smooth.
I was thinking Joker from Next Friday, but I was like, no.
What?
It's the accent, man.
Sorry,
Nope.
Jack Black's hilarious.
I mess with Jack Black.
So anyway, the major issues that have been going around is basically one side is bashing the dog crap out of Biden. And I think
One side as in the Republicans? Or the
Yeah.
Conservatives? Okay.
yeah, they're trying to make it look way worse than it really is. And I love the fact that we've been doing that a lot here at the on the TheUmteenthView, because we've been taking things and not necessarily debunking them, but we're adding reality to what we know, what we can see. Like let's bring some closure, right? Or at least some light, because I don't want us to participate in the perpetual cycle of nonsense and lies and fake news and all
we
that.
can joke about it, but it still has to be grounded in truthfulness.
Right. So that's why I said, let's go ahead and get the receipts, you know, yeah, and let's go ahead and figure this out. Let's see what the hoopla is, and is Biden giving out money? Is it $30 million worth of crack pipes? No, it's not. We've debunked that, because it's money that's going to different entities, nonprofits, different companies. You could even have third parties apply for you if you're working together for something that's helping in reduction of the use of, improper use of, and so forth. They even had mention in there where they have people standing by for when you use. They have like facilities for you to come use, clean, and then make sure they got the overdose medication for you just in case you do. If that's not like a sweet setup for just chasing that white horse, I don't know what is. I don't know what could be better. What could be better? That alone would be the white horse now. That's the new white horse, is being able to chase the white horse in comfort and luxury and cleanliness. It's sterilized.
My question is, right, because we know it's $10 million over 3 years, which makes it $30 million in total funding. So the first thing that pops up in my brain is not necessarily to agree with the conservatives. I don't know what they said, but like this is a perfect example of when Democrats produce like these humanitarian ideals and bills to push for the betterment of people, and the assumption that people are just inherently good, I suppose. But if you ever been into a crack house, or you ever been in my experience, crack houses works in two ways. They're really dark and solemn and full of shame, or they're in a house that's presumably well decent, but in that back room is dark and solemn. So in my brain, let's assume that it, because I do believe it will reduce the amount of infection and spread and disease of crack users.
Inherently it's going to do it, just like with when the COVID thing, flus went down automatically because we're distancing each other from each other.
But I think it's only going to prolong the problem instead of necessarily fix it, because when you're doing these things, people automatically feel shamed with the issue before. Here's why: because it's not going to stop people from using. It's going to stop the reduction of how HIV is spread and stuff, because they'll do it safer. But because it's doing safer, the ultimate problem, because it doesn't sound like they're putting them in situations to where they learn to recover. Because normally when people have these addictions,
I hear what you're saying.
They're mentally unstable. So not only do they need the withdrawal withdrawal methods, exactly. So if they're not taking them and putting them in these facilities, which is, if to do so is dang near a dictatorship. You can't snatch people off the street and say you can't snatch them off the street and say, okay, you got to get better.
They have to choose to go.
Exactly. But they're not incentivizing them to choose to go. They're just saying, okay, well, because you're already doing this, we're going to help you do it in a safer method, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So in my brain is my thinking of how effective is this long term? Is it money wasted?
To retort, what I would say to that is, let's take example from Holland, Amsterdam.
Okay.
They had a bad epidemic.
That's the place where marijuana's legal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But they also have universal health care.
Okay.
But now it's a whole, it's changed.
Okay.
The percentages have gone down. The diseases stemming from that have gone down.
Okay.
AIDS, HIV has gone down because of the sheer fact that all of these missions and council and place where I think it's, what is it called? Methadone, or it's like a fake crack. It's like something to get them over the fiending for actual cocaine.
I thought they just called them placebos, but there's a specific word for it?
Placebo is fake. Placebos are fake. It's to fool you into. No, you can't. With cocaine, with crack, you can't fake that. Okay. You have to have something to bite to cut that edge off.
Okay.
What is used in place of crack?
The FBI about to tap your phone.
In rehab. They'll be all right.
They gonna be all right.
All right. Either way, they use that to be able to
trick the body.
It's like it's basically run down synthetic cocaine.
Okay.
So cracks or whatever it is. So that way your body's like, I need that chemical. I need that to say that we're whole. And without it,
you're not getting
they fiending, and then they go back on the wagon. And instead of doing that, they come and get this. It's like a drink or something like that, and then they just carry on with their days the best they can, I guess. But back to my point, Holland, they did the whole thing about making sure that these people not only had these alternative drugs to be able to wean and help themselves off of it. They also had the counseling. They also had places where you can stay and live. So they basically were trying to assist with keeping people off the street. So therefore, it's like, I understand the logic behind it. I just don't want you to hide it. I don't think we should hide it. Main reason is because if you find somebody with a crack pipe in their backpack, that's paraphernalia and that's illegal and they can go to jail, right? But if you got somebody that gets assistance from the government for with a apparatus, a smoking assistant, whatever the heck you want, supplies, that can still be considered paraphernalia unless you got like a hall pass. You know what I'm saying? Where do they get a hall pass? Do those hall passes look like the vaccination cards? Like, can we get many of those? Can we get a lot of those?
So
put them on the streets. Just saying. Everybody wants to hustle.
I think that's a really good point about how the policing of this as well. A second though, a little bit of rewind. Do me a favor, look up the population of Holland and Amsterdam.
Okay. Amsterdam specifically?
Well, just the place where they implemented that program, because that program sounds like it's effective.
Oh, okay.
Because then because now I'm questioning the numbers.
We'll just do Amsterdam because I know for a fact that it was in that city.
Was this a recent thing?
I knew. No, it's still going on. Matter of fact, I was gonna tell you about something else they've been doing since I left. When I was in high school, I graduated high school, went to Holland for the summer, well, in some other countries, and while we were there, we went to a mission. We got to see what was going on. Like they actually were helping people overcome or at least maintain some faith, you know. And by the way, Amsterdam is 1.1 million, almost 1.2 million people. But that's now.
How many people live in Chicago?
Chicago.
Okay, so that's what I was figuring. I'm not too savvy when it comes to other populations and geographies, because with that number, because in my brain I'm thinking of, like, you know, when the Rona popped off, how South Korea handled it in comparison to how the US handled it. Cultural thing, economic thing, like just a sense of mind and body, right? Well, yeah. So with that said, like, I don't think $30 million is enough.
No way.
Yeah. And then
no way. It's almost like insulting. It's almost to the point like it feels like the Republicans were right by saying that this is just a marketing type of thing.
Yeah.
It's almost putting that right into that alley. So I'm like, I get it, but at the same token, like, take it seriously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, even what was the wife with D.A.R.E? Bush, was that Bush?
Yeah,
that was Bush, right?
Yeah, that's Bush, because that came about when I was just in school. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah,
so she went ham. You get what I'm saying? Like, she went all out. That's what I'm saying. Like, in my thing, put effort into it and don't hide behind it. Don't try and semanticize it to where we, like, lay people can't understand. No,
that's fair.
Giving them out, but it's not $30 million worth of crack
that's
pipes.
fair.
Because it's not because you don't want it to have the underlying or be misinterpreted and saying, yo, the government is okay with these people getting high, getting messed up, tearing themselves apart, killing themselves. No, that's not what they're saying. What they're saying is, hey, let's facilitate and take care of all of this other stuff that's killing them off, so we can kind of keep them well, so that they body and mind can be well enough, so that we can kind of, okay, now let's get rid of this other crutch. Let's get rid of this other fix that they need. You know?
Right.
So
yeah. So I think with more money allocated, I would be behind it, because I still think that
you gotta house these people.
Yeah,
bro.
you have to. It's a mental thing, especially if they've been on it for a while.
And when you said incentivize, that's the perfect term to be able to say it, because people need to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to a comfortable place and I don't have to worry about my kids. I don't have to worry about this, that, and the third, so that I can focus on what I want to focus or need to focus on, so that I can get over this. I've never been strung out on crack, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I have been addicted to women for a very long time, so I would imagine that it would be pretty difficult. So just say
addiction works in, like, we all got our vices, and unfortunately with that one's just a downhill spiral. And that's why I was curious. I was like, I'm pretty sure Holland is small, so these things
relatively,
well, in the states of, like, thinking of Philadelphia and thinking of Chicago, thinking of, like, California, San Francisco, and those places, and these places often plagued by where you can literally see these abusers on the street, like, struggling, right? And so even here,
Holland is not for that, bro.
Yeah. So
and that was back then. I graduated in 2000,
right?
So that was back then. And what I was gonna bring up is, since then, they've actually had other programs where they're using CBD and cannabinoids to actually assist in people weaning themselves off of crack cocaine and heroin and hard drugs, and it's working better than the substitutes that they were trying to do, the other synthetics. It's ridiculous to me anyway. My mind thinks you're gonna replace one synthetic with another synthetic. That's just like, okay, we're just gonna give you a lesser of two evils, right? Nah, man.
That actually, I like hearing that, because that shows the room for
progress.
Exactly.
For it to be effective assistance, effective resources, effective building up of people, man, because you can't, just like when you were saying, mentioning that we got to make sure that there's counseling in there.
Yes.
Because you can't set somebody back out there broken.
Like this is, so here's why. Because I was the child of a mother who was about this life. And so I know from talking to my mother and becoming great friends with her now, but hating her growing up, right? I know the mentality and you know what saved her? Going to prison. Why?
Because you were secluded away from it all. You are not in the same environment that you are thinking that I have to hit this certain stigma or social status or whatever the crap. Social interaction, no distractions. Matter of fact, you have to sit still. You have to. Instead of being like, no, I gotta go, I gotta do.
The freedom to roam and make the mistake. Sit there and dwell on your person. Now, what's incredible about this is Malcolm X was in a similar situation. What saved him? He cites going to prison. So if you're gonna give these people this money, $30 million is enough. Like I said, and
especially over the whole country.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yes, and our populations are like,
and then look, it's a competition to get the golden ticket to be a part of the whole thing anyway.
Big facts, because now you gotta appeal for it. So like if you're gonna do it, man, put all for it. Put your full feet into it, and then like people will back that. But you can't like tiptoe in a situation like that, because there's way too many lives at stake here. But
then again, the flip to that coin, you might want to have to tiptoe because of the stigma that can come behind you actually funding people, quote unquote, getting high.
But I think this is why you brought this up, because I know firsthand experience, theoretical experience, practical experience. We're looking at that, and I know for a fact that many of you out there know people like that. So with becoming a politician, everything you do has a stigma to it.
Okay.
So it's like you take those personality tests for like a job application. And you sometimes you can see 1 through 5. You either strongly disagree or strongly agree. That's anybody who's experienced job application. They tell you strongly agree or you strongly disagree. So there's no middleman. So I'm just thinking like, are you either for it or you're not? You put your whole foot in there, go 100%, or you don't touch it at all.
Yeah.
So if this is the case, Biden, if you stand by this, you go for it, man. Don't sit there and try to do it all.
And don't try and make this last until the next election or something like that, man. No, bro. Matter of fact,
and that's where the Republicans may have a point.
We are worried about your time clock, sir. Please jump on it now.
His code numbers ain't looking too good.
We just worried about you, brother. We just want to make sure this really hits the fan for real. Because honestly, the benefit, I get it. Can it be done better? Yeah. Cause it's difficult to speak on a subject that I've never endured myself, right? Not even secondary.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like me being as objective as I try to be, I can understand both sides of it. I'm not trying to be a fence rider, but it's more like which side would is beneficial more so. Is our social construct that we're all trying to, the facade of our society, we're just, the taboo, just keep it under the rug, please. We just don't want to be misinterpreted as a wonderful America that we are. No. Or is it the fact that we can let's go ahead and dust out from underneath the rug. Let's beat out these rugs, get the dust out, and make sure that we get everything straight. Like, because there's a lot of good people that have been taken away from us for something that they had no prior like
no real control over.
Control and no help with, like no preparation for, like nobody knew that this was gonna happen to them. Like when all this stuff came out, next thing you know, you have important people in key points in our society across the globe that need this to function. And now guess what? We have a situation where we literally don't police it enough. It's got to be on purpose. It's got to be. And then on top of that, you got undercovers running this, doing that, perpetuating, so you got to help it so that they can figure it all out to get to the top, to the this, that's what they're saying. But okay, shut it all down. Shut what you can down. Then start over again when they started. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've seen too many people hurt from it, man, to be able to be like, it's just nothing. It's just, oh man, it's not as easy as a piece of paper either. So
yeah, I'm gonna end this with my closing thoughts with I'm not gonna say her name, but I knew someone, and she hit me with some real stuff. We like probably 17. So that goes to show I'm 17, she's probably 18. Mm-hmm. She say in school they teach you, because we talk about the D.A.R.E program, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember the D.A.R.E program. Those officers, man, that's a side concept. Anywho, she hit me with some real stuff. She says they teach you about drugs, they teach you what the effects and all that stuff, but they never tell you how they feel, how they make you feel. And I think that really goes to speak on the experience. Mm-hmm. And so you get that high, you get that rush, it may be better than sex. So man,
that's what they say.
Yeah. So
but as soon as it's done, what happens next? Some of them get you in pain, some of them you freaking out, some of them you just don't know who you are. There's a lot that goes with these things, and I'm just like, don't take it lightly. You better read.
Hold on. Let me add this, because I gotta ask the question too. Like, I don't like name dropping if I know them personally, because you never know who's watching, and so I don't want to bring that type of negative light on them. But they know who they are, and I know who they are, so I think that counts. And I still think their story speaks some value. So that's why I don't like name dropping a lot, because I gotta ask about that. So I just had to put that in a disclaimer.
Plus, you're a content creator in the world of what I would consider honor and truth. This is what we try to embody here at the Umpteenth View.
Big facts.
So therefore, I think you're
not to
good.
Be deplorable.
No. The antithesis of such. You feel me? I love antithesis too. That's
a sexy word, boy. It just sounds.
You gotta practice it.
Yeah, you do.
Antithesis.
Not like that, man. You gotta make it sound like some Game of Thrones character.
All the sapiosexuals, hey ladies. Antithesis, yeah. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. What you saying?
What is going on? LeVar Burton.
Watch this. Gargantuan.
Oh, Jesus.
Who's marvelous? I am. I love it.